Jim, crypto news and analysis here. So there's some crazy things going on into the market today. What is going on? ETH, Ethereum, the whole spiel with Zora, and I'm just going to break it down to you guys today. So first of all, let's talk about the price action of the market. So currently Bitcoin, it is at a really nice recovery, honestly. It was chilling around here at 114, 115K, and now it is recovering quite nicely. I think it will be following this path, and everything beyond this point, like around here, I don't know if it'll actually go and retest that trend line. It doesn't have to do it right now. It could honestly just fucking ignore it, and then it will just blast the pass. But we'll have to see. What's going to be a really pivotal moment here is around here when it does retest the midline of the range. I do think at right now, Bitcoin highest probability point is going to 123K. The liquidation heat map does support this, where the liquidation heat map has a lot of concentration around 123K. So there's a lot of shorts that will get liquidated there, which will essentially magnet the price higher to there. So I think for now, Bitcoin will go higher there. So everything will follow in its pursuit. And if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, well, it is pretty much just getting destroyed right now. We don't know. Maybe it's going to follow this mean reverting path, or is this going to absolutely blast through it, and then Bitcoin dominance is going down to the green box, which is going to be its relative support. And well, we're going to see the alt season people have been waiting for. So Bitcoin is currently going to follow this. We're going to have to see what happens in this mid-range here. And Ethereum. So people are all over the news. Ethereum's all over the news. Everyone's pog championed this yet. And Ethereum right now, it is extremely, extremely strong. I thought it was going to follow this base, but for now, if it does close above here on the daily on Sunday, this will just moon straight to 4,100 in the next few days. It's not even going to be a competition. And then we'll have to see what happens there. If it does just chill around here, and then it's going to do another move higher and then consolidate above 4,100. Because I was saying in the other videos that, well, Ethereum, it has rejected 4,100 like 4 times, but you can also argue that global M2 liquidity is increasing in Ethereum. This large rally has been supported by the Bitcoin rally as well. Then Ethereum will also follow with Bitcoin, but we'll have to see. If that does happen, then Ethereum price targets, well, 10K is not unrealizable. But if it does reject from this, and for some reason that nobody freaking wants this for some reason, then it will follow some sort of distributive path like this before retesting this range and then going lower again. But we'll have to see with what happens with Ethereum. Right now, Ethereum is short-term bullish as fuck. It's going to 4,100, and we'll have to see what happens. And for Bitcoin, it's just doing pretty good. And I was saying in the other video with the stablecoin coins, so Convex and Curve, these ones are pretty much chilling a little bit, but these are ETH betas, by the way. So if Ethereum does go to the fucking moon, like global liquidity might be saying, and also based off the chart structure, well, there's a lot of momentum short term, right? Ethereum can be pretty much something around here. But if it does go higher, then the stablecoin betas here will also follow suit. So it is looking quite interesting. I am cautiously optimistic on the bullishness here. But let's talk about the Zora meta. So currently there is a Zora token on the base chain. It is an infrastructure social media chain where people can essentially create creator coins, like this Yap on a social media platform, and then like coins get tokenized on it, something like that. And it's pretty much gone 50% in the last day or so. And I just want to talk about what is going on with this token. Where do I think it's going? What is the current state of the narrative? Because a lot of people, they're chasing into it. There's people want to short this, and honestly, like in terms of pure momentum and short squeezing, I don't know what the price target is, but this will just keep going higher. It will go higher until price says it doesn't want to go higher anymore. So it could just do that, and then maybe that. But if it also just rejects that, then that will be the endless zero pump. But for now, there's a lot of attention on Zora chain, and I want to present something that could be interesting, where there is the pump meta that is also the other token, the Zora. So this is like the opponent to it. So in terms of the launch pads currently, the meta is Pump Fund, Let's Bonk, or the Bonk launch pad, and then this Zora chain. And Let's Bonk and Pump Fund are Solana ones, while Zora is more of the new base one. And these are the new 2 chains that are pretty much the focus of the cycle. But currently Pump chain is, it's been down only, and currently the sentiment on this is fucking horrible. So I was saying earlier in my own Telegram that I think this could be a pretty decent play for a test of resistance, honestly, like because tokens like these. So there was, I remember a while ago, many months ago, there was this token called Jelly Jelly, and Jelly Jelly, it's essentially this old token on Solana launched by the Solana founder, I think, and it pretty much went down only because Solana people just hate holding stuff. And for like many weeks, it was at this base. But currently, I think that pump is around here, if I were to say, or there could be a recovery pump potential for it to do even a little bit of a 5x in its own bear market. So I position myself personally on this pump token because I think that a lot of people are up on Zora and they're going to look for other tokens to buy, and they see that pump fund is down like this, and this is pretty much the narrative leader. Like, this pump has as much attention as Zora, yet it is down in the pits like this. But these things don't go down forever. There will be some recovery. So this is what I think will happen for this pump token. We'll have to see if I'm wrong though. But currently, if we also look at the price action below here, we are seeing that there's tiny little red candles, and they are not really going as high. And the green candles are extremely strong. Like, one green candle here takes out is 2x of 3 red candles. Like, that's pretty good. That signals that selling pressure is being removed on this token. So this is like a thesis that I have. You can choose to partake in it if you want, but price action is just telling me this, and I'm just going with the risk here. And yeah, currently I want to explain what the Zora token even is as well. So this guy has a really good post on it. I want to just read it to you guys really quick, where he's basically saying the most insane crypto play this month, Zora, up 550% in 1 week. But why exactly is everyone buying, and can it continue? So he says, on July 16, at Base app launched its new Base Super app, highlighting a bunch of integrations with Zora and several other apps, and this sparked a monstrous rally for Zora. So Base essentially was showing the Zora app. It's not just Coinbase, but they have a Base app, and they're saying, how does Zora actually work? Every single post you create becomes a coin. Your profile personal brand is a creator coin. Each new post is paired with your creator coin. Each creator coin is paired with Zora. So it's a pretty interesting flywheel, where basically the more people post on the Zora platform, the more tokens pretty much go to Zora. Like, it's just a pretty upward spiral flywheel here, where people have incentive to post, and then they'll get rewarded for Zoras, basically. And this creates a flywheel effect where more activity means more demand for Zora. Base entire thesis for Zora is the idea of coin everything thesis, tokenizing content. So tokenization is a pretty big thing in the US, like what we saw with the Genius Act, where you want to regulate the stable coins and push them, because it will essentially have people buy the treasury bills, which they need people to buy them. So to handle the debt crisis, basically. But let's take a look at the metrics. Zora metrics are strong, hitting all-time highs on activity and new posts. Zora generates around 21,000 new post coins daily. I said 20,000. This rivals major launch pods like Let's Bonk with Zora. There's no concept of bonding or graduation. A post instantly become tradable. So posts are fucking tokenized. But volume, the biggest difference is that Zora and other launch pads is trading volume. On its best day, Zora saw 12 million traded, average only around 2 million daily. Compare that with Pump Fund, 25 million daily. Let's Bonk, 125 million daily. Currently, Zora is achieving only about 8% of Pump Fund's volume and just 1.6% of Let's Bonk volume, yet the valuations tell a different story. Zora, 225 million circulating market cap. Pump, 1 billion circulating market cap. Bonk, 2.6 billion circulating market cap. If you value Zora based purely on comparative volume, fair value relative to Pump, 80 million. Fair value relative to Bonk, 41 million. This would suggest a fair market cap for Zora around 60 million. Obviously, just some lazy math, but it gives an idea. And that is also raised 50 million in 2022 at 600 million valuation. So it's a pretty decent feeling to get a better entry than VCs, it seems like. But he's basically saying that Zora was valued at 600 mil, but right now it is valued at what, 300 mil? So that's like 2x the lower the cost, basically. But yeah, let's just look at the rest of the post here, where does price go from here? Zora metrics look great when you compare it against itself, although it doesn't even come close to other existing platforms and volume, revenue, fees, etc. As I often say, when you see a bullet train, you either jump on it and let it pass, but don't stand in front of it. This rally appears driven by momentum, a massive short squeeze, and strong marketing tailwinds from Coinbase, causing people to just FOMO in. Yeah. If you look at a super insane green candles like this is basically what he said. Short squeezes, momentum, and marketing from Coinbase. So it's just all this perfect storm for it just to go higher. And with purse funding hitting a 900% annualized, it's unclear how long this rally can sustain. I agree with that. You don't know when this will have another leg, and this, honestly, price action wise and probabilistically, it can go anywhere. It could go straight to 1 billion, or it could be the end of it right now, and then it goes back down to 100 mil or something. But final thoughts, they're pretty bullish on the concept, and it's essentially risking some massive dilution that makes him bearish. So they're tokenize everything, which risks a massive dilution. So yeah, it's kind of like Pump Fund, where on Pump Fund they have all these fucking tokens and they want you to post as much as possible. So that means each individual post is less valuable, which means over time, Zora, well, what's the reason for you to post on there if you won't get rewarded as much for it? So long term, the thesis isn't really the best, but right now it is very, very speculative. There's nothing worse for a personal brand than a critter coin attached to your name sitting near $0. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm just saying. But he's giving me some good tips here. But yeah, for something like this as Zora, I don't know. When will this end? Right now, it is very momentum driven. And what he said is true, that it's still 50% less of original valuation from VCs when they invest into it. Then that means it is at a 50% discount still at this price. But we'll have to see. Currently, I don't have this. I'm kind of just watching the madness from the sides and just journaling my thoughts on it. But I also want to give other thoughts on this, where on Twitter, there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, this is playing out as expected. So this guy's basically talking about Zora. And a lot of people are comparing Zora token to like Virtuals, for example. So Virtuals was the craziness meta back then, and currently Virtuals is just is consolidating here. And the chart wise, it's just choppy, but for this to actually go higher, you want to see it close above 1.7 billion. So something like that, and then it would do something amazing like that. But a lot of people are putting all their attention in Zora right now, but this is a good thing for Virtuals that people are still talking about it. So this will eventually come back, assuming that Ethereum has its insane rally. And if we're also looking at other things where people are looking for betas, right? So people are asking, what is the next Zora? The next Zora is Zora, right? There's people, they want something new that they look at the Zora price action, they're like, oh, it's too high. So this also supports people being sidelined. It's like a disbelief rally, where eventually there's going to be more and more people as they're like, oh, this is too high. But then they see 50% up later. Their brains are like, oh, I have to ape it now. And then they FOMO in. And it's just kind of whatever, man. And also this guy, am I the only one who's weirded out with the market right now? So much FOMO as if we're about to miss generational move, but 99% also generating a piece of shit. So this is also important to consider. For a lot of altcoins, yeah, they are fundamentally garbage, but you can also just follow the people who are going to buy into it, because a lot of people, they don't really do super research. They just try to connect their dots and ape into something because something sounds good. And it's like that is XRP, for example, right? It's a perfect example of what people think are good. And then just because there's such a mind share of people want to buy it, and then there's like a cult around it, and yeah, it will go up like fucking crazy. But yeah, this was the post that I was also reading that inspired me to take a position on Pump. Like I was thinking about it, but this guy has a very good point where he put a pump long here. The technical is now finally line of sentiment bottom. Yeah, if you look at Pump, it is horrible, and there will be a hater rally because people, they will sideline onto it and FOMO on it. But look at this things: Pump, massive reversal zone, parabolic, and all this other shit. I don't fucking know, man. It's just okay. A lot of people are just showing that they're going to be super amazing. Okay, this guy is bearish posting, but a lot of people are bear posting Pump like a lot. And can it really go that much lower, this Pump token, where it has been down only for such a decent amount of time? Can it go much lower? It's been down only for like 10 days. I don't know. And I also want to talk about this final thing here. So there was a correction on the video before where somebody commented that essentially what I said was wrong, where the Genius Act, they're not trying to make their official stablecoin, the US government, and that they're actually against that, it seems like, because they released, so this is a .gov website, which means it is sponsored by the government. So pretty much what you can see on here is pretty true. But he's basically saying that in a vote of 219 to 210, honestly, that's a fucking scary ratio. The House of Representatives passed Emmer's bill, which prohibits the Federal Reserve from issuing the central bank digital currency and codifies President Trump's executive order to forbid federal agencies from exploring their development. So yeah, a CBDC is essentially when stable coins are actualized instead of like the US dollar. Because like, you know, in the real world, if you're going to give money to each other, there's the banks, like the banks, they can see what you bought and shit, but sometimes people can get away with using cash and whatnot. But if the government went to a central bank digital currency, they have full, they can look at how you spend your money, and they can also put limits on it based off like your own credit score. This is enacted in a lot of countries. I think China might be working on it, but some countries are trying to have a central bank digital currency because this will give them more control over their populace. And you know what that is. I'm not going to go super deep into that, going a conspiratorial rant, but yeah, these guys will be issuing a central bank digital currency, but it seems that right now, it seems that they don't really want to do that, which shows that the Genius Act suggests that they don't really want to set an actual stable coin by the US government, because if the US government made a stable coin, then it's pretty much similar to a central bank digital currency. It's like a foundational base on a fundamental level. But it seems that they want these stable coins more because the companies for the stable coins will have to buy more US Treasury bonds, which the government does want, right? They want their bonds to be bought because it helps with the debt crisis. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. And currently, just the market analysis here, the summary, just a lot of yapping here. It's a lot of craziness today. Is that short term, I'm bullish. And after like a week or so, we'll have to see if it's going to continue grinding higher. Right now, I think it will go higher for now, but we'll have to see. It's pretty much upwards for now, in my own opinion. And yeah, the Zora narrative here, I think it will go higher for a little bit more, but there's also potential asymmetric risk reward on tokens like Pump Fund if you wanted to look into these for a quick pump. And potentially, like, this is a very high probability in my own opinion. Can it go to back to all-time highs like people are saying? Honestly, maybe. It's not a bad idea, but for now, I'm more of a, when it comes to trading these, I like to trade to the local resistance here, and then you could see if it's going to do another move. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, and check out the links below, and I'll see you guys.